Zach Brown Band, whatever it is, on New Country 103.5. It is my favorite day of the week. It's Interesting Cape Bretoners here on New Country. My guests this morning are Jason Murphy and Jon Manley, and they are from the group Haunts from the Cape. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, okay, Jason, let's start with you. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
My name is Jason Murphy, as Tasha said. My regular person job is sales rep for Sobeys Wholesale. So I cover all of Cape Breton and Antigonish, repping the Sobeys brand, of course. And whenever we can, we're out hunting ghosts and roaming graveyards. And it's nothing to find me up at Hardwood Hill Cemetery on any given day. Yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, Jon, what about you?
My name is Jonathan Manley. I'm a library assistant with the McConnell Library in Sydney. I am also a part of Haunts from the Cape. Kind of fell into that role because I do research at the library and kind of just works really well finding weird things about history and ghosts and locations when we go ghost hunting.
Awesome. These guys are going to stick around. We're going to find out more about what they do coming up. Tim Hicks and Loud on New Country 103.5. It is 8:08. This is Tashia Lee, and it's Interesting Cape Bretoners. Jason Murphy and Jon Manley are in the studio with me, and they are from Haunts from the Cape. Now, I need to know the scariest places you have been.
Am I going first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, fine. So we've visited many locations all over Cape Breton. I'm going to say the creepiest spot, just for like the atmosphere of it, Hospital Road in Point Edward, is quite freaky.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Oh, you should go.
Well, I'm not going on my own. You guys come with me.
Don't go by yourself and don't go at night.
Okay.
But no, we we heard some stories from the area, from people, because that's what our group's all about. We we ask questions, we find out about places we've never known about, and so the first time we ever went over there, I think it was a long time ago now. But as soon as you go in, it's like it's different. The atmosphere is different. It's almost like the wind's blowing above you, and it gets really quiet, and it's like a horror movie. But this is when we get there. It's the daytime when we get there, and it's still like everyone just stopped. We're looking at each other the first time we're there, and we're like, something feels off about this place.
Now, I have to ask you about Lewisburg, because you've been out there a couple of times, and is that scary? Because to me, it seems like it would be.
We've been going there we've been doing this for 10 years, and we've been going to the fortress. We're pretty much there every summer,
right,
a couple times. There are certain areas that are pretty freaky. We've captured some really, really cool evidence there, including a woman screaming at me. She was screaming at me to die while we were doing a tour in the bakery. The bakery, apparently there's supposed to be a poltergeist that moves things around, and the table, if you've ever been there, it's not light.
No, no.
So workers have left for the day, locked up, and come back the next morning, and the table's on the other side of the room. We've left recorders in there and walked away and left the place. And when Doug goes through all the evidence, because I have to give Doug his shout out, because he does all the technical stuff.
He does.
The YouTube stuff, he's the guy. So anyway, he's going through it, and he said at one point, you just hear these heavy boots going up the back stairs. And there's no one in there, because they would have to literally unlock the door, open it, and it's not quiet, and walk across the floor to get to the stairs. So out of nowhere, you just hear the boom, 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 boom going up the stairs.
That is crazy. Now, is there any place in the world you would like to investigate? Go ahead, Jon. Get a little closer.
Over there.
I just as out of a sense of history, I've always wanted to go to Romania, and they say that Dracula's castle, or Bram Castle in Transylvania, is very haunted. However,
it's become a big tourist attraction. I was reading about it the other day.
Huge tourist attraction, but what's not an actual tourist attraction that's related to the legend of Dracula is a monastery in the middle of a lake in Romania called Lake Snagov.
Right.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Somebody can correct me on that if I want.
I pronounce things wrong all the time.
It's fine. But anyways, that's where the guy who inspired Dracula is supposed to be buried, in that monastery.
Oh.
So that would probably be
I love how much history you know about things.
I tried.
I could pick your brain all day.
He is our history guy.
What about Amityville?
Amityville, we were my wife and I were supposed to go to New York over in this year, but we had to cancel a trip. But anyways, we might go next year. But apparently the Amityville house has been renovated so much that it's unrecognizable from
Really?
like the movies and everything, because it's an iconic structure, right? You show
I'm
a
surprised
picture.
someone bought it.
Somebody bought it, but apparently they bought it after the fact that the what were their names? The Lutzes came out and said that it was all a hoax. They had made up the whole thing. They were apparently very
Did you not know that?
No, I did not.
No, sorry.
That's a big farce.
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, they said that they're, a lot of the stuff that they came out with was made up, and yeah.
They did it because apparently they were falling on hard times, and
Ed and Lorraine Warren? Now I've watched all of their movies.
And the movies are good.
Yeah.
The
Like you
movies
say,
are fantastic.
Yeah, the Conjuring movies are wonderful. But let's say a lot of it is not quite as,
Well, I'm not liking that a heck
I
of a
know.
lot.
I'm
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
I have
We
lots
won't
more
attach more.
questions and we could talk all day, but I have to go to commercial.
Yep.
We'll be back.
It's the hunt.
Bobby Pickett, Monster Mash on New Country 103.5. It's interesting, Cape Bretoners, and we took a spooky turn for today. And I have from Haunts from the Cape, Jason Murphy and Jon Manley. Now, Jason, what is the creepiest thing that has ever happened to you?
Since we started doing the group?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because there's a lot. But anyway, I would say probably Blackbrook Cemetery. You've been there with us before?
Yeah.
Super creepy place. We always have something pretty cool that happens. And in this job, we are trying to find evidence of a life after this one. So when you hear stories about legends of a witch that lives at the Blackbrook Cemetery or lived in the Port Moreton area and is buried at the Blackbrook Cemetery, and you ask a question and you get a response saying, a witch, who lives here, a witch, which we actually got a few times, which is pretty cool. So that's
That
mine.
is.
Yeah.
So let's go with what is the funniest thing that ever happened to you? Go ahead, Jon.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, I'm good. So we investigate the fortress every year, like Jason said, and we always usually split up. And so they left me in the chapel for a long time, like 3 hours, by myself. And I was just walking around and like mostly silence and everything. And I'd ask my questions, see if I'd get any responses. And then, like we said, Doug will go through all of the evidence afterwards, listening to like hours of nonsense. But anyways, it was just silence for me for 3 hours. And I don't know if you've ever been to the chapel in Lewisburg, but the acoustics in there are amazing.
Yes, they are.
When I decided to have beans for dinner beforehand,
Poor Doug.
Doug got an earful. Sorry, Doug.
Again, the acoustics are phenomenal.
Phenomenal acoustics in there, yeah.
All right, before I let you go, what do you think is the scariest movie ever made? Jon.
I would have to say The Changeling from 1980 with George C. Scott. That sends shivers down my spine just thinking about it.
What about you, Jason?
I'm going to go with The Descent because of the claustrophobic aspect of it.
Yeah.
And also those crazy creatures that killed everyone.
Yeah, that was pretty
gave me
crazy.
nightmares for quite some time.
Yeah, The Conjuring was like that for me until you guys told me all the information
Sorry about
today. That was what I thought. Anything you'd like to add before I let you go?
Well, we are available on Facebook and YouTube, for starters. Also, before I go, I have to say hi to Archie and Willa because they're listening and they're getting ready for school. So I had to say hi. Hi, guys. Get ready for school. Anyway, but yeah, that's it for me. Jon?
Well, just like I said, if you're ever interested in doing historical or genealogical research, we're always available at the James McConnell Memorial Library to give you a hand. We might not be able to find what you're looking for, but
You'll give it a shot.
We'll give it a shot and point you in the right direction.
Thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Thank you.